Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Nike Renew Elevate. So before this shoe came out, there were some leaks on it, and some people were saying it was React and some people were saying it was Renew. I was hoping that it was React, and just imagine a full-length React shoe. And I feel like, it would have been super nice if it was React, but sadly it's not. I mean, Renew is very, very nice, but as you guys know, it does bottom out pretty quickly. This shoe is going for a whopping 80 bucks. So it's very, very cheap, and it's basically a budget shoe. So if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. And I've only been playing outdoors in these shoes, so this will be an outdoor review of the Nike Renew Elevate. So if you guys do want to cop this shoe, I'll leave a link in the description box. Let's get it started off with the traction. So for the traction pattern, you have some squares, I guess, and it just kind of like ripples out. The actual stop is really good. I had no issues with sliding out or anything. And surprisingly enough, I mean, you can slide out and you can have bad traction on an outdoor court. And I'm playing on a surface where it's more like a tennis court, that tennis court type of texture. It's not like full-on blacktop. So the bite was good where I was playing. And for the durability, I mean, it's looking pretty good. It doesn't really even look like there's any type of wear or tear. I mean, it's wearing down a little bit. You can definitely tell it's a little bit worn down, especially where the high wear area is, but nothing's like ripping off or tearing off. And the rubber is pretty hard. I wouldn't say it's the hardest rubber I've felt. It's definitely not soft, but I expected there to be a little bit more wear and tear, so I'm pretty surprised about that. So if you want to play outdoors in this shoe, you should be fine. And now moving on to the heel to toe transition, you have a nice curve shape here in the heel. You have a nice curve shape here in the forefoot. You have a good amount of compression in the heel, and look at that forefoot flex. So you're good to go. This shoe is very, very smooth for heel to toe transition. Doesn't feel boot-like or clunky at all. And as far as the cushioning goes, so they're using a dual density cushioning setup. It's full length, and they're using Nike Renew and another type of foam. They don't really specify what they're using, but I'm guessing it's this gray foam here on the bottom. But like, if you feel it with your finger, the gray part is actually softer than the white part. So I'm not really sure what's going on, because the Nike Renew here in the heel, like the branding, it's on the white part. So I was guessing it was Nike Renew, and the white part has, I guess, that patented Renew like design on it. But anyways, it really doesn't matter. I'm just gonna tell you how it feels, and it feels incredible, guys. So I mean, even more than the KD Tray 5.8. But yeah, the KD Tray 5.8 was pretty damn nice. It's pretty soft, has a nice little bounce to it, but this is, I feel like it's a little bit thicker, or maybe it's a dual density blend of cushion. I don't know what it is, but it's nice. You have a nice bounce here in the heel. It's not super bouncy like React, but there is a nice subtle bounce to it here in the heel. It has a good amount of compression as well. And not only here in the midsole, but like underneath your heel. Like you can feel your heel digging into the actual cushioning. And not only in the heel, but also in the forefoot. So like when you first get it, it's like the perfect amount. I loved it. And as I kept playing in it, it bottoms out a little bit, but it's still pretty nice. And for me, I would 100% take this cushioning setup over Phylon any day of the week. Like Phylon is stiff, it sucks. I don't even know why Nike uses Phylon anymore. Just use this. You can put it in an $80 shoe, you know what I'm saying? So just put it in all of your budget shoes. And not only that, but the core feel is actually really good too. So here in the forefoot especially, you're low to the ground, and then it kind of gets a little bit thicker. You have a little bit of an offset, but you're still low to the ground. And also it's responsive. It's not like the cushioning is too soft or too mushy or anything. Like I said, the bounce and the compression is a little subtle, but you definitely feel it, especially in the heel. And this is definitely one of my favorite cushioning setups that I've been playing in recently. All right, moving on to the materials. They're basically using a mesh. It's a very cheap feeling mesh. I mean, you can't really complain because it is an $80 shoe. You have a little bit of fuse here in the toe area on the medial side, and you have an oversized swoosh here on the lateral side that goes into the midsole. Like, definitely this material looks cheap and it feels cheap in hand, but when you put the shoe on, it's very, very comfortable. It's thin. It's not the most supportive material, but I feel like it's supportive enough, and I feel like this shoe has support in the places where it needs support, so which we'll get into. But on foot, it feels actually pretty nice. The tongue has a little bit of padding, and in the ankle area, I would say there's an average amount of padding as well. So yeah, I mean, you can't really complain, I'm just glad they didn't fuse it up like crazy or use a crappier material like a shit mesh. It's definitely cheap, but it's not a shit mesh, and it gets the job done. on foot. Alright, moving on to the fit. I went true to size and fits me like a glove. My toe is literally right at the edge, which I like. And the fit in the toe box is snug at first. It loosens up though, like this mesh material definitely does stretch out. So when you first get the shoe and it's a little bit tight, you don't really have to worry about it all too much. And width wise, I would say it's around normal to slightly narrow. And also this shoe has a heel tab, so it's very easy to put on. Alright, moving on to the support and lockdown, I had no issues. On the lateral side, for lateral support, you have this swoosh, and this swoosh definitely acts as a lateral counter, especially near the toe area. So where the swoosh starts, that's basically where your pinky toe is, maybe a little bit behind your pinky toe, but it's basically right there, and that cages you in. And then here in the midfoot, you have the rubber outsole coming up here to cage you, and then here in the heel, you have the foam coming up, acting as a sidewall, and you have an internal TPU heel counter. So lateral containment was very good. As for lateral stability, I had no issues. You know, it's a very flat and wide base. There is no outrigger, and it's definitely not the widest shoe I've ever felt, but when I was playing in the shoe, I didn't feel like I was gonna roll my ankle or anything. So lateral stability was good. And this shoe, it's kind of like a low mid, you know. You have good ankle mobility, but you feel a little bit of something over your ankle bone, right? This part goes over your ankle bone. So you have freedom for ankle mobility, but you definitely feel this part over your ankle. All right, moving on to the weight. This shoe's probably gonna be super light, like 10 ounces, 11 ounces. Yeah, 10.97 ounces for the left pair, and the right pair is 10.65 ounces. Wow, a 0.3 ounce difference from the right pair to the left pair, which is, I guess the quality control on their budget shoes isn't as good. But anyways, that's still very light. Does this shoe feel light? It feels incredibly light. It feels very minimal, and it really doesn't feel chunky or bulky anywhere in the shoe. I guess here just a little bit in the heel because this foam protrudes out a little bit, but not really. And you definitely feel fast as well when you're playing in the shoe. As for the ventilation, it was good. You have this mesh material. I mean, when you blow through it, you feel a little bit of airflow, and this material isn't crazy fused or glued down or anything, so it wicks away moisture. And you know, I was playing outside, so my foot was actually pretty cool when I was playing in the shoe. Moving on to the aesthetics, I like it. You know, I feel like whoever designed this did a great job of designing it, even though they're using like cheaper materials. And I believe there's two colorways available right now. There's this colorway and a black and red colorway. All right, so wrapping things up, 80 bucks, guys. This is a beast performer, and this is one of the best budget models that you can get right now, hands down. Right now, I like it better than the KD Tray 5.8, and it's cheaper, I believe. The KDs are like 90 bucks. This is actually 80 bucks. As for the bang for your buck category goes, I don't think it's the best because, you know, they're using cheap materials on this shoe. But it doesn't really beat the KT Splash 2, which is also, I believe, like 85 bucks, which has very nice materials, basically a knit. I mean, obviously, as a consumer, we all know that if you're buying a shoe from Nike for 80 bucks, you're not really gonna get a shoe with good quality materials, and obviously they're not gonna use their best tech like React or, you know, Zoom or whatever, right? But they definitely put the shoe together very well, designed it very well, and the shoe performs like a beast. Like I said, this is definitely one of my favorite shoes to play in right now as far as budget shoes go. So if you're looking to save money, 100% get it. And if you're not looking to save money but you still want a good performer, you can still get this. Get two pairs, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, that about wraps up this video. It's Soul Brothers approved. I really enjoyed playing in the shoe. Again, if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.